Hello! For today's video, we are going to be dissecting a tilapia fish. For the first part, we are going to be examining its external anatomy, most specifically its fins. First, we have the spiny dorsal fin that is located at the very top of the fish. Next, we have the pectoral fins just right under the fish's head. Next, we have these tiny pelvic fins that are located at the bottom of the fish just right above its anus. Next, we have the anal fins that is located under or just beside its anus. Lastly, we have the caudal fin, or basically the fish's tail. Let's move on to the dissection part. As you can see, I'm just grabbing a pair of scissors to cut the bony part of the fish's head, just so it would be easier for me to cut through its flesh later. Here, I'm just grabbing a scalpel, and as you can see, I am cutting under the line that we usually call as the lateral line. Using the scalpel, I carefully cut through its flesh vertically, following the direction of the lateral line. Next, I'll be cutting through the bottom part of the fish, but first let me show you its anus. For this part, I was very careful because if you cut through the bottom too hard, you are going to be damaging the internal organs, which unfortunately happened to me. For this part, we are going to be cutting horizontally from the anus so that we could remove the flesh right above the organs. I used both scalpel and scissors because it was easier for me to utilize both instead of one. Here you can see me cutting through the flesh with a pair of scissors and just removing everything out of the way. For this part, when I was using the scissors, I was just shocked of everything happening. I knew that I ruptured something and I was already sure that it was a heart because of its placement and because there was a lot of blood. Anyway, I continued on with cutting the flesh and removing it from its body. I used the scalpel to remove the flesh and skin from the body, and it took me a really long time because I was cautious of handling it. I was also scared that I damaged another internal organ, which is why I took it very slowly. Ta-da! I have already removed the flesh and skin. Next, we have the bones, right above the internal organs. Here you can see how careful I am with cutting and opening and handling its flesh because the organs are just right below it. At that point, I could already see the internal organs of the fish. I used a pair of scissors to remove the remaining part of the flesh and bones. And there we have it, the internal organs of the fish. Using a pair of tweezers, I looked through the internal anatomy of the fish and I saw a couple organs including the liver, stomach, intestines, gills, and gallbladder. Here we have the close-up video of the internal organs of the tilapia. First, we have the intestines, which are these long white things underneath everything. Then we have the liver, which is the huge pink or red organ sitting on top of all the other organs. Then we have the stomach, which is the red one near the intestine. And we have the gallbladder, which is the green one containing the bile juices. I am assuming that this fish is a male because you can see the testes underneath the organs, and what sets it apart is that it is yellowish in color. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to see the heart, which proved that I actually damaged it on the first part. Nevertheless, I knew that the heart was positioned near the gills, and I knew where it was exactly placed in the internal anatomy of the fish. Here you can see me removing all the organs and just taking everything out. At this point, I just started to examine the other parts of the fish and I started to play with it a little. I removed its eye and it was really hard to get through it because there was this protective layer that was a little thick and hard to remove. Next, I remove its gills from its body using a scalpel and a pair of scissors. That is it for this video. Thank you for watching.